A lot of Knicks fans are fantasizing about getting Joel Embiid from the Philadelphia 76ers somehow one day. Let's deep dive a little bit into where Joel Embiid's been and how this could possibly happen, even though I don't think it would happen. Joel Embiid was once represented by Leon Rose when Rose was still a super agent back at CAA. Now doesn't have an agent at all. He's represented for non-basketball related marketing endeavors, but actually doesn't have an NBA agent. Embiid negotiated his own Supermax in August of 2021, which over the next 4 years goes from $47.6 million to $51.4 to $55.2, all the way up to $59 million for a player option for the 26-27 season. What's crazy about that number is with the projected NBA salary cap increases over the next 4 years, the $59 million is projected to be the smallest percentage of his team's salary cap over the upcoming 4 seasons.
What can we look forward from Joel Embiid?
I just want to win a championship. Whatever it takes. I don't know where that's going to be, whether it's in Philly or, anywhere else. I just want to have a chance to accomplish that. I want to see what it feels like to win that first one and then you can think about, the next one. It's not easy.
I've made it clear on BKE social media that I refuse to believe the 76ers and Daryl Morey would ever send their reigning MVP and top 10 NBA player to a division rival, especially either the Knicks or the Celtics. But for the sake of fandom, let's play pretend and see what a potential Joel Embiid trade would look like for the New York Knicks. First, let's go back to the Kevin Durant trade from the Nets to the Suns last year, which is the most recent example of a top 10 NBA player changing teams. He also had 3+ seasons left on his contract at the time of the trade, so it feels as if there's enough similarities to make a realistic comparison. Kevin Durant and TJ Warren got traded from Brooklyn to Phoenix for Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder, 4 unprotected first-round picks, and a first-round pick swap, just for good measure. For the first 2 of the Joel Embiid trades, let's assume that they also are sending Tobias Harris somewhere else somehow. Because in my honest opinion, I can't imagine Tobias Harris and Julius Randle really fitting together or playing on the same team. So the first trade example is Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, either Quentin Grimes or Emmanuel Quickley, Knicks unprotected first-round picks for 2024, 2026, and 2028, both Detroit and Washington's protected 2024 picks, and Milwaukee's first-round 2025 top 4 protected pick. So we have 3 players, 3 unprotected, and 3 protected first-round picks for Joel Embiid. The second trade scenario involving Randle as the catalyst is Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, Quentin Grimes, and Emmanuel Quickley, and the 3 unprotected picks from 24, 26, and 28 for Joel Embiid and Jalen Springer. Now again, for this to actually happen, in my opinion, for Julius Randle to end up in this trade or on the Sixers in any way, Tobias Harris has to be shipped somewhere else. I can't imagine a world where Julius Randle and Tobias Harris are both on the same team. The Sixers lineup in this scenario, which a lot of these are still based on, are they keeping James Harden? Most likely not. They're definitely starting Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris, and then most likely Mitchell Robinson are the 3 guaranteed starters. And then what they're doing from there is Randle and Harris playing. It just doesn't make sense to me. So for the sake of this, we're assuming they sent Harris somewhere else. Now, either of these moves would all need to be, in my personal opinion, immediately followed with getting rid of Evan Fournier. Because what they need to do with the money that Evan Fournier is making, the Knicks don't have a power forward now in this scenario. Either Isaiah Roby or Nathan Knight, or both, are actually getting major minutes for a team that has what is playoff aspirations. And then once you have Jalen Brunson and Joel Embiid, I'm assuming the thought process is that they're like, we're title contenders now, or we have to be. The best power forward that's still technically available is PJ Washington, who's still a restricted free agent on the Charlotte Hornets. He is refusing or thinking about refusing the $8.5 million qualifying offer the Hornets are asking him. He was looking for a larger deal, citing the Isaiah Stewart 4 years, $64 million deal is what Jake Fisher was talking about for Yahoo Sports when he wrote an article about it on kind of what PJ Washington would want to be getting. I think the Knicks would immediately have to try to go get him. Because if they don't go get PJ Washington in this scenario where they traded Randle to get Embiid, it's going to be rough. If you look at the rest of the players that are actually unrestricted free agents that are power forwards that aren't signed yet, none of them actually scream playoff contender or even playoff contributor. And we're looking at a lot of Isaiah Roby and or Nathan Knight, or a starters level amount of minutes worth of RJ Barrett and Josh Hart at the 3-4. The lineup and the rotation that the Knicks would be trotting out if this trade was to happen, I'm going to go with the sake that they actually didn't trade for Embiid and Springer. I'm going to use for the example Randle, the 3 players, the 3 unprotected, and the 3 protected. So for this example, they traded Randle, Mitch, and either IQ or Grimes. Their starting lineup would be Jalen Brunson, the one that's left over between IQ and Grimes starting at the 2. RJ Barrett. I'm assuming it would be either Roby or Knight actually starting. I'm assuming Tibbs wouldn't want to just start Josh Hart at the 4 or RJ Barrett at the 4 with Hart at the 3, however you want to think about it. For the sake of this scenario, he'd rather one of the 6'8", 6'9" guys actually do well and win the job. And Joel Embiid, obviously. And then for the sake of closing games, I'm assuming it actually wouldn't be Roby or Knight. It would be Josh Hart. And then the guys coming off the bench for this team would be Deuce McBride, Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo, the loser of the Isaiah Roby, Nathan Knight battle, we'll say, for starting power forward, and Hartenstein still. That would be the 10 guys that are actually getting minutes, and then Jericho Sims still the 3rd center. Playing behind Joel Embiid is kind of similar to playing behind Mitch Robinson for him in the sense that neither of those guys are ever expected to play 82 games, so there will be times throughout the year that Sims is actually getting a chance to make an impact, him and Hartenstein splitting the center minutes. For this team, obviously Deuce's role would increase, losing either Grimes and or Quickly, and then also losing Randle and Mitch. You're just losing a lot of players to only add one to your rotation that you're actually expected to play a lot. And then from there, I know you'd be thinking, well, is Sims really going to get a lot of minutes? Not only is Joel Embiid usually kind of a little injury prone, he has a penchant for just falling on the floor every game multiple times, and he has a history of foot problems. He's 7 foot. Whether Tibbs would want to do it or not, I'm assuming load management would have to happen somewhere. I don't see Embiid playing over 70 games. And now for the next 2 trade options, instead of using Julius Randle as the largest sum of money the Knicks would be sending out, I would be using RJ Barrett as the largest sum of money that the Knicks would be sending out. And the trades look really similar. It'd be RJ Barrett, Mitchell Robinson, either Grimes or Quickly, the 3 protected first, 3 unprotected first, 3 players, 3 unprotected, 3 protected again. That's just what I'm hypothesizing for the sake of this. I'm going to say at the end what I really think, but if Knicks fans are hearing this and they're like, that's too much, the guy's an MVP. Literally just one MVP, and again, look at the Kevin Durant trade. It's really not that crazy to think someone's getting 6 picks worth and 3 players. So again, RJ Barrett, Mitch Robinson, either Grimes or Quickly, the 3 unprotected, 3 protected first for Joel Embiid. Or same idea, Barrett, Robinson, Grimes, and Emmanuel Quickly, the 3 unprotected first for Embiid and Jalen Springer or some other young cheap player. I don't know. Just going to go with the fake choice again for the sake of the Knicks lineup where they're only dealing 3 players for Embiid, not 4 for 2 players. The Knicks starters would be Jalen Brunson, either Quickly or Grimes, whichever one they keep, Josh Hart instead of RJ Barrett, because RJ Barrett's out now, Julius Randle, and Joel Embiid. And then the rest of their 9-man rotation for this would be Deuce McBride, Dante DiVincenzo, Isaiah Hartenstein, and then I'm assuming only one of Roby or Nathan Knight's actually seeing the consistent 8 to 10, 12 minutes behind Randle at the 4 in any of these scenarios for an Embiid trade. And then Sims is still waiting for a Joel Embiid or Isaiah Hartenstein injury to actually happen and for him to get any consistent playing time. Now to throw on my Philadelphia 76ers Daryl Morey hat. Again, I'm the 76ers and you're the New York Knicks and we're division rivals and my fans hate your fans and I'm giving you my just won the MVP player. I'm not doing it. Or I'm ripping you the hell off. That's how I am going to do it. So give me 4 players. Give me Barrett. Give me Grimes. Give me Quickly. Give me Mitch. Need Mitch to make up for my center. Give me 4 unprotecteds. Give me a pick swap. That's if I'm Daryl Morey. And you know what? I'm expecting you to say no. And that's totally okay. Because also if I'm Daryl Morey and I'm giving up Joel Embiid, I can probably get better offers, or at least comparable offers from elsewhere. Let's bring up Oklahoma City. They're always the easiest one to throw in these trades right now for stars because they have the most assets. They have some of the best young players in the league. Even if you're a team that's trying to take some of their best young players in the league, SGA is probably untouchable, which means no matter what, they have at least one MVP caliber player on their team for the next 5 to 7 years, assuming SGA doesn't ask out, which who knows, right? But let's just say let's say Embiid does ask for a trade. He's not going to tell me where he's going to go. I'm going to send him to Oklahoma City. Let's throw out some of the names I could be getting if I'm Daryl Morey. After August 21st, Davis Bertans can be traded. He was recently traded to the Thunder. You have to wait till August 21st to actually be able to trade him again. He has a $17 million salary right now, which helps a lot for the sake of a trade like this. So I'm trading Bertans. I'm also going to try to get, if I'm Daryl Morey, Jalen Williams. Let me get Chet. I'm giving you Joel Embiid. You don't need Chet Holmgren anymore. Oh, and Lou Dort. So between Lou Dort, Chet, Jalen Williams, and Davis Bertans, the salaries are almost perfectly aligned for those 4 players and Joel Embiid. The Thunder also have way more first-round picks to offer than the Knicks. Every first-round pick the Knicks have from another team is currently protected one way, shape, or form. The least protected one is the top 4 Milwaukee for 2025 pick that they have, which ends 1 through 4. New Orleans gets it, the Knicks don't even get to touch it. But most likely, I'm just not giving you Joel Embiid. I do feel like a lot of the Joel Embiid rumors started in the past couple of years because Bill Simmons from The Ringer, has been covering the NBA since like the late 90s, early 2000s. Guy started for ESPN, was on NBA Countdown, made Grantland, made The Ringer, has a bunch of ins, constantly talks to players, front offices, coaches alike. He literally does one of the most famous podcasts in the world. A lot of it's based on him actually talking to current NBA and NFL athletes, which a lot of us don't actually get to do. So I do feel like that Bill Simmons started bringing this up, being able to put the tea leaves together, CAA, Joel Embiid, etc., and then made it be a thing in the past couple of years just by occasionally bringing it up. What blows my mind is that the dude's a Boston sports fan. Like, if you tell a Boston sports fan, like, yo, dude, would you trade Jason Tatum to the Knicks if he asked out? No shot, not at all. You'd send him literally anywhere else. If you're trying to not send him to New York and you're not sending him to LA, that's basically it. If you're a Philadelphia 76ers fan, like I said, I'm not sending anyone to New York or Boston. I feel like that just makes a lot of sense. But yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think of both the fake trade ideas in the comments. Let me know if any Sixers fans are listening to this, if those are even close to what you hope to be looking for. And again, I don't think that Joel Embiid will ever be a Knick, and if he is ever a Knick, it's like a Brett Favre ending up on the Vikings scenario where he has to go to another team before he goes from the one division rival to the other. But that's just me. Also, let me know if you actually think with Joel Embiid and Jalen Brunson being the main 2 players, if the Knicks would even be a title contender. Would they be better than Boston or Milwaukee in the East? Would they be better than Miami, assuming Miami gets Dame and they have to compete with Butler, Bam, and Dame? Would they be better than the Western Conference contenders like the Nuggets, the Suns, the Lakers, etc.? There's a lot of things that can or would go right or wrong in a Joel Embiid trade to New York. But again, a Joel Embiid trade is not going to happen to New York, in my honest opinion. I would bet a lot of money on that. But let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe.